we are a week away from polling, and a week in state elections when the BJP is in the opposition is very significant because in the penultimate round, the BJP pulls out all stops. Kejriwal has been active from day one after he was released from jail. So has
Yeah.
Manish Sisodia been having road shows and padyatras. And I think the Congress is really not a player in this election. Now, Rahul Gandhi has now jumped in. So I think the Congress will be significant to the extent to which it can cut into the votes of the Aam Aadmi Party. If the Congress revives from its 4.5% of last time and say
Yeah.
mops up 7, 8 more % votes, then it's trouble for Kejriwal, serious trouble for Kejriwal. If the Congress remains where it is roughly, then we don't even know whether they'll win a seat. Their own people say privately, maybe if they're lucky, maybe may win one or two, and that too on the strength of the individual candidates and their standing in their constituency. So Congress is not going to be a player. It is a face-off essentially between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. But you're absolutely right. It's a high-stake battle. It's Little Delhi, not even a state. But it's a high stake battle for Arvind Kejriwal because I think it could become an existentialist crisis for his
Yeah.
party if he loses, because then it will be a sitting duck. The ones who live in jhuggi jhopris, in the slums, and uh, they are the ones who still swear by Kejriwal. Kam to kiya hai is a phrase that you hear all the time from them.
You're watching Viewpoint. This is a show where we do an analysis of an important topic. Today, we have taken up the issue of the BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party, the political tussle that is only intensifying by the day in the national capital of Delhi. Allegations and counter allegations, and caught in the crossfire, interestingly, is the Yamuna River. And of course, the matter is being taken up with the election commission, with series of meetings where the EC is meeting both sides on this matter. One is blaming the other for deliberately poisoning the Yamuna River, and that has not gone down well, of course, with the BJP. And each side is up in arms with this entire issue. Air pollution, however, is missing in the manifesto of the ruling party. There are cursory mentions in the BJP and the Congress manifesto. With just a week to go for the high stakes assembly election, polling is on the 5th of February, results are going to be out on the 8th. Battle lines are drawn. The top leaders now have their boots on the ground. The rhetoric is getting sharper, it is getting more acrimonious. But is the voter impressed? What changes this time? Let me welcome, joining me on the program is Nirja Chaudhary, senior journalist. Thank you, Nirja. Good to have you on the show again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nirja, you must be closely watching all the action that is going on right now. Arvind Kejriwal seems to be quite aggressive with the campaign. The BJP also, I just realized, has apparently formed a team of 27 leaders, including union ministers, who will now strengthen its campaign. Clearly, this is a high stakes battle. Many are saying, well, it could be the same pattern, what happened with the Modi government. They'll come back a third time, but not with as big a margin as they did. But how are you looking at things at this point?
We are a week away from polling, and a week in state elections when the BJP is in the opposition is very significant because in the penultimate round, the BJP pulls out all stops. So we don't know what we're going to see in the coming days. The Prime Minister has not yet jumped in fully. Mr. Amit Shah, I'm told, is conducting road shows, and all the big guns are now. Yogi Adityanath has been there. On this side, of course, Kejriwal has been active from day one after he was released from jail. So has
Yeah.
Manish Sisodia been having road shows and padyatras. Atishi, of course, has been very active. And the Congress has been very, what's the word?
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm. It's as if
Yeah.
they've given up the battle. And I think the Congress is really not a player in this election. Now, Rahul Gandhi has now jumped in. So I think the Congress will be significant to the extent to which it can cut into the votes of the Aam Aadmi Party. If the Congress revives from its 4.5% of last time and say
Yeah.
mops up 7, 8 more % votes, then it's trouble for Kejriwal, serious trouble for Kejriwal.
Mhm.
If the Congress remains where it is roughly, then we don't even know whether they'll win a seat. Their own people say privately, maybe if they're lucky, maybe we may win one or two, and that too on the strength of the individual candidates and their standing in their constituency. So Congress is not going to be a player. It is a face-off essentially between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. But you are absolutely right. It's a high-stake battle. It's Little Delhi, not even a state. But it's a high stake battle for Arvind Kejriwal because I think it could become an existentialist crisis for his
Yeah.
party if he loses, because then it will be a sitting duck for the BJP to try and break the party and wean away its MLAs. But
No,
for
what
the
I
people,
want to ask you is that here is a set of voters who are very consciously voting differently for state and differently for Lok Sabha. And when you say that if there is a sort of anti incumbency, will those votes move to Congress or will they move to BJP? So, to that extent, is the picture any clearer now in terms of whether a 10-year anti incumbency is weighing down Aam Aadmi Party? And the same set of voters, which are voting so smartly in the last two terms, give a very decisive mandate to AAP. Are they upset with AAP or are they willing to vote them back in?
see, at the beginning of the campaign or when the elections were notified, the question mark was, will the Congress start to revive? After the
Hmm.
Bharat Chodo Yatras of Rahul Gandhi, certain sections, particularly the Dalits, and within them younger Dalits and educated Dalits, have been looking at the Congress with new eyes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the Muslims,
Rahul
and
Gandhi interestingly offered prayers at the Valmiki temple earlier today. There are those overtures being made, and one of the leaders joined BJP as Aam Aadmi Party as well, right? Of the Valmiki community, Mr. Uday Gill. So, wooing that Dalit vote bank is well and truly on.
yes, that of course is on. And the whole controversy around Ambedkar, what the Home Minister said about him in
Hmm.
Parliament, which the opposition is going to town with, and but the Dalit is a factor as far as
Hmm.
the Congress's revival is concerned. And the Muslims, of course, for them, the preferred party is the Congress party. So, would the Congress, had they got their act together, have managed to wean away these sections which would otherwise go to the Aam Aadmi Party and therefore
Yeah.
damage them? Now, but the way the Congress has so far conducted its campaign, very low key, very, very half hearted, they know they're not
Well, in
coming
a
back.
way, nature, aren't they supposed to be fighting together? What happened to the India alliance? Today, I heard Samajwadi Party is supporting the AAP campaign. You have Trinamool Congress MP Shatrughan Sinha extending support. By that logic, Congress also is supposed to stand strong with AAP. Or do you think there's somewhere a deliberate agenda to concede territory so that BJP doesn't win?
That is where the this Delhi election is also going to be significant for the future of the India alliance.
Hmm.
Now, Mamata Banerjee has already made a pitch that she should lead the India alliance. And if
Hmm.
Kejriwal wins again and becomes chief minister for the fourth time, it will give impetus to the regional satraps vis-a-vis the power balance between them and the
Hmm.
Congress party within the larger India alliance. And
Hmm.
that will be to the disadvantage of the Congress party. And you're absolutely right. All the regional leaders, regional parties have put their weight behind Arvind Kejriwal and not behind the Congress in Delhi. Whether
Hmm.
it's Sharad Pawar's NCP, whether it's Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena, whether it's Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party, even Lalu Yadav's
Yeah.
RJD. Remember,
Hmm.
Lalu Yadav is the oldest ally, regional ally of the Congress party. And of course,
Yeah.
Mamata Banerjee is there. So, given that, as I say, the power balance, not that the India alliance is about to come apart, but the power balance within the India alliance could change if Aam Aadmi Party comes back to power. That may be one reason. There are sections within the Congress Party, particularly the local leadership, the Delhi leadership of Congress Party, which would not like Arvind Kejriwal to come back to power because they realize that he has grown, Aam Aadmi Party has grown at their expense.
That is interesting. Now, at this point, of course, the question is that as of now, when we are looking at what is going on in the campaign, what we see is that there is this tutu meme over the Yamuna River. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party says this deliberate poisoning of the Yamuna River, which, of course, the BJP is contesting very strongly. Are these issues even going to matter? Is the voter taken in by these matters, or is it just one of those regular things that come with the territory, in the week ahead of elections, that there has to be some fireworks and issues just pop up?
If I was to say that Delhi is in the larger metropolitan region, 34 million people, the second largest city in the world after Tokyo. Delhi is another metaphor for urban governance. So what happens in Delhi, in one sense, sets the tone and tenor for the politics of the future elsewhere in the country. Now, the fact that the poisoning of the Yamuna River, the kind of water we drink of the Yamuna, that drinking water, the fact that pollution in Delhi for 3-4 months of the winter months, has become such an issue this time. I think that says something. It's a new thing happening, that both the parties are slugging it out. Both the parties are blaming each other for the poisoning of the Yamuna River and the inability to clean it up, despite the Aam Aadmi Party being in the saddle for 10 years and the BJP being in the saddle at the center. And both the center and the state have to work together to be able to do this. One cannot do without the other. But that it is an issue, becoming an issue, is a good thing for our democracy. That means substantive issues are beginning to matter to ordinary people. And I think water and air, what could be more basic than that? Your right and my right to be able to breathe clean air and not be sick. I came back yesterday from Kerala. Every time I come back to Delhi, I feel ill in those hours, in the first hours, because of what you're breathing. And imagine the older people, the younger
difference
people.
in the air quality.
I know. I met somebody in Calicut who said, I have relocated. It's from the north. I've relocated because I don't want my child to grow up in that environment of that air, having to breathe. So, and of course, diplomats are doing that. They're given a chance. But I think air and water becoming issues in elections, holding these parties to account, is a good
It's a good
development to
sign.
have.
Yeah, but Nidra, a lot of when we talk about now, let's talk about the anti-incumbency factor. Of course, the larger popular view is that 10 years is a long period, and there is bound to be anti-incumbency. But what I want to ask you is, since the lieutenant governor has been very active administratively, and the AAP continues to harp on the fact that we have not been allowed to work, our leaders have been jailed, we have been hindered, and that's the AAP's appeal, that give us another term because we couldn't even work with all the hindrances and arrests and our leaders being jailed. Do you think the voters would somewhere be aware of that factor, that it's not anti-incumbency entirely against Arvind Kejriwal? There was very much a lieutenant governor because of the way Delhi operates as a union territory.
I think that there is the divide in Delhi, not so much of caste, which happens in every state of India. Caste is a very dominant factor. In Delhi, I feel it's a class factor. While the poorer sections, the ones who live in jhuggi jhopris, in the slums, and they are the ones who still swear by Kejriwal. Kaam to kiya hai is a phrase that you hear all the time from them. And he has a credibility because they've got something, Bijli, Pani, reform school, Mohalla clinic, women getting free ticket, and now 2100 promised to women every month. They will tell this to you. And they believe, he will do more. But the middle class is not as enamored of the AAP as it was once. And the middle class also backed Kejriwal, whether it was in the 2015 elections or 2020 elections. Otherwise, he would not have got 67 out of 70 seats or 62 out of 70 seats. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
possible. But that middle class, and going around some areas, I find people saying, अब change चाहिए, ऊब गए, थक गए. मतलब not that they are angry, but they feel maybe a change is going to be better. So they are going to look at the BJP. They are not looking at the Congress. These sections, the middle class. Now there
Yeah,
is a
this is very
debate on,
important.
you know, what is the number of the middle class in Delhi? There are
Yeah.
different varying versions. The experts say that 90%, according to a survey that the government of Delhi did in 2018, 90% of the people spent less than, households spent less than 25,000 rupees a month. It was only the remaining 10%, of which 2% were in the higher bracket. So, ineffectively, it was 8% that should be the middle class who was spending between 25,000 and 50,000 a month, a household.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that's not a large number, but obviously, Arvind Kejriwal, he's made a pitch for the middle class. He's given a 7-point program for the middle class. That is a very unusual thing to do because the political parties normally go for the poorer sections.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because that's
So
a
you're saying
larger.
he's very aware that Jhuggi Jhopri, the poorest of the poor, and the middle class combined makes it a mandate like what he got the last two terms. You know, the
Absolutely.
67-3 and the 62
But
A's.
it's
So
another
he
thing.
cannot afford to lose that.
He cannot afford
But
to
then
do that.
if that is
It's another
slipping away,
factor.
then that goes where? Is it going to BJP?
Yes, I think that is looking more to the BJP. But Kejriwal is pointing out, he's touching a raw nerve as far as the middle class is concerned. He's talking
Yes.
about tax terrorism. You have to pay the direct taxes as well as the indirect taxes. And the GST, which is a real sore point, on daily need, items of daily need. The middle class has to pay. Everybody has to pay that GST. So
Yeah.
also, 10% of the budget should be spent on education, 10% on health. So he's listed and free, health services for the senior citizens and so on. He's listed 7 points, but those are not promises he is making. He is saying the BJP is not doing this for you. The BJP is responsible for your economic distress today. So, in other words, don't vote for the BJP. You're going to be in trouble if you look at the BJP favorably. That is the bottom line of his middle class pitch. Of
Yeah.
course, he says, we are doing this for you. Greater Kailash has 11 Mohalla clinics. You may be a posh colony, but we also cater to you as much as to the poorer section. So I think the BJP too has been talking about, the freebie culture, which then
Yeah.
makes the middle class very unhappy because they feel freebies are given to the poor at their expense. So this war,
What about the Aam Aadmi tag? Has it been dented? Because the BJP, of course, has tried its best to somehow debunk this whole Aam Aadmi image by raking up the Sheesh Mahal, by talking about corruption, and the fact that he is not such a he is an elitist and he does have made these big expenses. Has that gone down on the voters, or do you think the voters may not exactly be convinced despite all the hype and the hoopla around Sheesh Mahal?
I think it has made a difference. The Sheesh Mahal has made a difference because it has dented Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi image.
Yeah.
But as far as the corruption, people, those who support him, the poorer section, they say who's not corrupt. Even if you say he made a mistake in that liquor policy, who does not make mistake? That's number one, they will tell you. Number two, who's not corrupt? Number three, they'll say, kahin se to paisa chahiye na for him to do what he's doing for us. If he's going to
Yeah.
give us all these things free, he has to get money from somewhere. So there is a logic in their argument.
There's a willingness to give him that concession. I want to play out a small, soundbite of Arvind Kejriwal, what he addressed earlier today. Let's listen into what he
चौपाल
said.
के उदय गिल जी चेयरमैन हैं, अध्यक्ष हैं, और उन्होंने पूरी दिल्ली में कई सालों से इसके दलित समाज के उत्थान के लिए काम किया है। आज पूरी दिल्ली से, आप पीछे जो देख रहे हैं, पूरी दिल्ली से इनके समर्थक आज यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं। उदय गिल जी को आज आम आदमी पार्टी में शामिल कराने में मुझे बेहद हर्ष हो रहा है। उनके आने से न केवल नई दिल्ली विधानसभा में तो हमें आम आदमी पार्टी को फ़ायदा मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, क्योंकि 40 साल ये एनडीएमसी में कार्यरत रहे और अभी थोड़े दिन पहले रिटायर हुए हैं। नई दिल्ली में तो फ़ायदा मिलेगा, पूरी दिल्ली के अंदर दलित समाज को एकजुट करने में और उनके
Actually, this is the one I wanted to play. Let's
तो
listen.
आज 4 बजे भगवंत मान जी को और आतिशी जी को चुनाव आयोग ने मिलने का टाइम दिया है, वो दोनों मिलने के लिए इस मुद्दे पे जाएंगे। ये तो सीओ जल बोर्ड ने कल लिख के चिट्ठी में लिखा है कि अमोनिया ज्यादा आ रहा है। सैनी साहब, राजनीति ना करें, पानी के ऊपर राजनीति मत करो, पाप चढ़ेगा तुमको, लोगों की बददुआएं लगेंगी। गंदा पानी, जहर वाला पानी अगर जनता को पिलाओगे, मेरे को डरा रहे हैं केस कर देंगे, कर दो केस। केस करने में कोई कसर छोड़ रखी है तुम लोगों ने, जेल भेज दिया, फांसी पे चढ़ाओगे मेरे को, कर दो केस। तुम जनता को मारोगे क्या? दिल्ली की जनता को तुम जहर का पानी मिलाओगे और केजरीवाल आवाज उठाएगा तो डराओगे कि केस कर देंगे? कर दो केस।
So that's the pitch we were talking about. That, let me just stop sharing this first 1 second. So, yeah, Nirja, if you can hear me, wanted your reaction to this pitch, this very strong pitch that he is making. The jail to dal diye, ab kya phansi pe chadaoge? So they want to cash in on that sympathy factor. But my question is, can you continue to cash in on this? Because of course the same rhetoric was used in the previous elections as well. The victim card, the fact that they were jailed, and the liquor policy, and all of that. So now this issue also, he's being in this issue also, he tries to use that time and again कि अब क्या फांसी पे चढ़ाओगे? Do you think that resonates with people, with the voters?
Yes, I think, when he was still in jail and Manish Sisodia came out and was holding his Padyatras, I tracked one or two of his Padyatras and talking to people. Yes, even the baniyas and shopkeepers, forget the poorer sections, they felt इनके हाथ पैर बांधना चाहते हैं, काम नहीं करने देना चाहते हैं. That sentiment is there. And जेल में रख रहे हैं. Whether that sentiment remains as strong now that he's out of jail. Because after all, there is anti-incumbency of 10 years. And again, I would say to you, it is a divide between the poorer sections and the jhuggi jhopri walas versus the middle class that is got a bit disenchanted with, somewhat disenchanted with him. So I would say yes, the conservative wisdom is that he will come back to power with the reduced majority. He may not get the 62 kind of seats, but there again, he's going to be in trouble if it's 40 to 45 seats. He'll has to be above 50 to be so-called safe. If he's 40 to 45, even though that is a majority, then he's a sitting duck as far as the BJP is concerned. The BJP can, his party can start to erode, break up, splinter. The BJP is not going to leave them alone. So I think a 50 and upwards is where he will be safe if he can get it. If not, it's going to be, let's see what happens then.
Right.
Or
last question on the leadership. Yeah, one last question on the leadership factor, Nirja, because the Congress and the BJP had their own time under the sun, so to speak, but they had very powerful leaders like Madan Lal Khurana, Sahib Singh Verma for the BJP, or you had someone like Sheila Dikshit. Do you feel that this time, when you match the leaders of the BJP or the Congress, the AAP kind of comes out heavier there? There is a local leadership strength that you see.
Agree with that. Yeah. The AAP has a very clear leader. Even though Atishi is the chief minister, she's made it very clear. Now she won't sit in that seat also. So it is going to be Arvind Kejriwal's party. It is Arvind Kejriwal's party as far as the AAP is concerned. If they come to power, it will be Arvind Kejriwal who will be the chief minister. But for, hypothetically speaking, if because of legal reasons and the charges are framed against him and the Home Ministry has already cleared and ask the ED to do that. Suppose for legal reasons he cannot become chief minister. It will be part sharing. It will be the kind of arrangement. Atishi may well continue as a woman chief minister, but he will be the power. He will be the person who will call the shots. And the the Janata of Delhi knows that. As far as the other two parties are concerned, yes, it has weakened their stand, not having a clear face in this race for chief ministership. Neither the Congress has it, nor has the BJP been able to project one. And the Aam Aadmi Party has a clear leader. So that is an advantage. But there are other factors at work also.
Yeah, thank you so much for this, Nirja. We get so much clarity, and also we understand now the interplay of these factors. It can't be one factor in isolation. Like you said, the local leadership issue vis-a-vis the middle class, vis-a-vis the anti-incumbency, all of these things will play their part, but which one plays the greater part and where things change from the last two mandates, we will find out on the 8th of February. Thank you so much, Nirja, for joining us on Free Press Journal.